I'm just sorting out all my bits and pieces because I've had to do some manipulation of paper sizes to get the things I want to use for today's make still to fit it in my file folder for today, for this week. This image, love this wee folder. I'm imagining this is Evelyn as a girl, so I wanted to use this image, but it's too big for what I'm planning. So I've shrunk it down to 8 by 10 and then printed 2 to a page to get this image. I also wanted Evelyn's book, which I've shrunk down to 5 by 7 and then printed on the other side of 2 to a page because I wanted the book at this kind of size. So that's those. I wanted to use this image, but it was too big. So I've shrunk that down to 5 by 7 and I've printed that on £32 240 GSM card, and on the back I've printed one of the freebies that you can get from the members site of Tracie's website. This kit, by the way, is fantastic. You can get the kit in Etsy, and both Tracie's website and Etsy is listed down below. I wanted to use this card for this, which I've decided is Bartholomew, this image, but Bartholomew is looking in the wrong way, so I reversed that, and all you need to do is you'll see either a little reverse arrow or it will say flip, and then you just print it. So he's now going in the way I want him, and as you can see I've chopped off the top and bottom and cut it around because I only really wanted that bit. I wanted this image of the kind of dark, and this really kind of looks like a nighttime in the library, so I wanted this image, but I didn't want the tab tops and I needed it bigger, so I blew that up, and we have these two cut out of that. That's all the bits I have, so I'm going to go and cut out these bits. I did have another version of that candle. Did I put it away? Because I don't know which size of candle I need. I really like this candle, because that's actually one of my thoughts as to maybe this candle on the floor. Just the candle might, that one's maybe too big, so it's going to be the other one that I need to use on the floor. Might be what's hiding. In the story the candle's never on the floor, but hey, this is all, it's all a big story. It doesn't matter that it was never on the floor in the story. Anyway, I'm going to cut all this out and then I will be back. Cut out all my bits. There was a couple of pieces I forgot to say that I'd also cut out. I've printed out a bit of this on ordinary paper, and I've also printed out right, well, we'll come to that when I find it. So what I'm going to do is I want to create a pocket on this shelf for this. So I'm going to stick this down, matching it all up, and I'm going to stick the tree down because clearly I had best, well, I think actually just when it's different thicknesses of paper, to tell you the truth, you end up with different, even if you've got the same settings. So the first thing I want to do is I want to stick this down flat, which is easy done. So what I want to do is I want to stick down this bit and stick all that down, and then just stick this down as a pocket. I need to make sure this is going to fit in, don't I? So I do need to have it to the tree, so maybe about half the tree from that point on, stuck that down, and then just stick that down. And I think we'll put a little tiny, and if we use a bigger circle, we can have a shallower shallower pocket, so we need to work out where this is. So if I'm going to do it, although to tell you the truth, this isn't going to it's not going to matter if I put it in the middle, because it's still not going to show in the middle necessarily, but you can have a shallower, wider. It's just, I think, works better sometimes. Right, let me ink this first, actually. See it along about there. I'm going to ink the whole thing again, because that bit will have probably lost most of its stickiness. Right. Oh, Kirsten, you're just making such a mess. Right, just get that. It needs to go up. It needs to go up. Right. The trouble is, I've still got a little bit of book page showing, and it's just annoying me. I'm going to have to glue this again if I'm not careful, because it's taken so long to do this. That's all. There we go. We're done. We're done. We're done. It's not perfect, but it's close enough for it not to, because that bit's going to be hidden, so that's all right. Now what we need to do is, let's cut this bit off. So you didn't need to back that, this one that's on the thick paper, because you're going to have to put another backing on the back. I've just realised that, I think. Oh, right. But the reason I wanted to do that was, let's just stick down the rest of this pocket. So we've got this pocket, and this is going to go in this pocket. I'd quite liked it if it was just the tag that's showing. So it's about 2. We could cut that down and just recut that tag. This is risky, but let's just do it anyway. Is that going to fit in better now? Oh yes, that's perfect. Perfect. Now let's just ink that up again. Oh, let's cut those corners first. So what you need to do is you need to ignore all my mistakes, and just go with the things that work. Love it, love it. Right, now what I want to do is I want to do some stamping on the inside here, but before I want to do some stamping, I just want to ink that up a wee bit more into the, in fact, actually maybe I'll ink it over all. Right, so I'm trying to think, what colour shall I do this? I think if I do this in grey, which I know I can hear you saying grey for snow, it works really well for snow. Actually, if you have a, this is London Fog by Memento, if you have a pale grey, it actually works, because it's very hard to get white working for snow, even on a black surface. It's hard to get white working. Pale blue works as well, but I want to keep this background kind of, so let's do that stamp. So we've done the top half on this side, so we'll turn it round and do the bottom half the other way up on the other side. See, look at that. Isn't that a fabulous background stamp? It's from Indigo Blue and it's called Snowflake Border. Now let's put this back in here. And this is another Indigo Blue stamp, and this one is just called Christmas Word Block. And I think I'm going to do this in my favourite at this time of year, although I do use it a lot at other times of the year, is Memento's rhubarb stock. So that's a little folder that's going to go in that pocket, but I'm going to be putting something in the folder, and there's something, oh, are we going to do that now? I'm trying to think, do I need to do anything else? Yes, let's get this bit finished first, shall we? Because what I need to do is I need to trim this down a bit because it's all a bit squiffy. Right, I've trimmed those little bits off that needed trimmed off, and I'm going to show you what my intent here is. I'm going to put these over here like so, and then I'm thinking I might use this candle on the floor here to hide this shadow thing. This is going to be Bartholomew. It's not quite the right proportions, is he? Maybe I'll use Bartholomew here. I'm going to cut him out and put Bartholomew here actually, and I'm going to use the candle instead. Maybe if we have Bartholomew there, he's in a better proportion there than he is here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this open and he discovers the secret room, able to be wrapped around. And actually I think for that reason, so that it all still looks one piece, I think I'm going to wrap this round as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just folding this round there. I'm not folding it round tightly because this one can't go round tightly, so this one should be able to move as well, even though I'm not going to have it moving. If I fold that round, or do I have this one moving as well? No, I'm not going to have this one moving. So that's that one. Then this one will go on here. Oops. Need to make sure it's in the right place. And let's fold this round and then we'll decide where he goes. So fold this one round as well. Right, that's okay. That's okay. That one just needs to be brought up a tiny smidgen so this is in the same place as the other one. And then we need to just burnish these ones down. Oh, let me think. Do I want both sides to pull out, or do I just want one side to pull out? I've just seen all the muck that's beneath my fingers from messing about earlier. If both sides pulled out, then you'd get to see the tree, and this side is going to have to come all the way to there. No, I think there would only be one bookcase, only one bookcase would move. I don't think both bookcases would move. It's part of me saying what I really want to do is cut down there and have that bookcase being the one that moves. No, I'm just going to have one bookcase move because otherwise it stops making sense. This is the flap that isn't stuck, so if we put this flap in first, then that's going to help. Sorry, I'm not showing you that very well. So if you set the flap in first, though it's not to be tight, that's the thing. So, but if you set it in, then you know roughly you're in the right place. And then we'll just fold that over, fold that over, fold that over. Oops, I've got a big glob of glue there. Don't want that. Let's get that off there before it marks it. Oh, and you get a gluey finger now, mark on it now. There we go. There we go. Let's just, this one needs to be glued down. There we are. Let's just burnish that. So you have this. The next thing we need to do is this then goes in here. Lovely. And the first thing I want to do is along these bits and along these bits, so along these edges and along these creases here, I just want to now do the same on this. Just fold it over and then it really kind of gets into the wax, and then do the same along this edge. That will slide smoother. Right, I've mucked up that a bit, but the bookcase, oh, the bookcase still isn't great either. I've not stuck that quite on the right spot. So what are we going to do? We're going to have to live with it, Kirsten. We're going to have to live with it. It's not terrible, it's just not what I wanted. I should have had that in position first and then stuck that one down, but never mind. He might cover that whole thing up. In fact, he almost certainly will. I need to back him on something, and let's use this double Dickens paper I have here. I want to just kind of have him more on this page. I'm a bit concerned with this candle arm, and I have considered taking that off, but I think I'm just going to leave it, because the only time it's going to be pokey, but the only time if you pull that out, the only time it might be an issue is taking this out the pocket. Put this back in the pocket. That's if that's in the pocket. And that's the only time it might be an issue. So maybe, because I've not yet done the mechanism for it not to come off, maybe I'll just allow it to come off. And then I think I'm just going to allow it to come off, because actually I want him here more than I want this not to come off, because I'll know not to take it off if I don't want it off. So right, what I want to do now, however, is I want to try and just burnish this down flat a bit. I have made an error, and you can correct this error when you're doing it. What I've done is in making this sleeve, I've not taken account of the extra thickness of this pocket, and so this now is fitting. I mean, it fits okay because I put the candle wax. It slips on and off okay because I put the candle wax on. But what I've not taken account for is the pocket, and the pocket has got something yet to go in it, so I'm slightly concerned about that. So I'm not going to put him on just now. I've also cut out, this is the library book. If you remember, I said I was going to do the candle. Wasn't keen on the candle down there. This isn't the library book, this is the ledger book in the library, and I actually thought I would make that the tab instead, because that can go down there. It's not got the, I've half stuck it on just now, and that will go there, and then that's what I'm going to pull it out with. However, what I do need to do, I kind of quite fancy something, just because it's a slightly, maybe I just need to darken that down a wee bit. I need to do this to the wood panelling on the other side yet. Actually, see, that's maybe all it needed. That's just taking some of the brightness off it because it's supposed to be dark. But look at I'm getting messier and messier by the second. What I do need to do, just concentrate, Kirsten. I need to make the other bit for inside and see whether I need to remake this whole envelope. And I'm going to do that before I do the rest of the backing, because then I might do the rest of the backing slightly different. So the bit that goes inside here is going to be Evelyn's book. And what I have got here is I've got this cover that you saw that I'd printed out. I printed out small, and I've cut along the bottom there where the pages are, because I'm going to make it into a book. That's the plan. These are my pages for the book. This is this candle, and I've taken the top bit here of this candle and I'm going to make that the inside cover, so that will hold these pages down. What I need to do is I need to sew this first. So I'm going to actually, do you know what, I might just staple it. Let's just staple it. Right. Okay, I'm just going to quickly ink them all in a one. I like that. If you do, you've got them, just that'll do. I've already done the edges, the bottom and tops, but that'll just kind of ink them all. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this first page to attach the book in place. So, right, the book, the image of the book is like that. What I'm doing is I've folded the spine of the book round and I've cut the pages off. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first page and stick it on here, butting it in, because I've folded the spine round, butting it into where the spine is. Then I'm going to take this image I've cut out and stick it down on top. I've already inked the whole of the inside of the cover, and you could, I suppose, just leave that, but I decided I wanted to put a wee image on the inside, and this star just seemed fitting. Right, so that's that. And then for the back cover, what I've got is I've printed off this Christmas Anthology because it's a cloth cover. I'm just going to cut a bit of this off down here in this corner. So what I've done is I've taken it the whole height of the book at the front. It's not the same height at the back, but that's okay. Taken the whole height, and then I've taken it, it needs to be trimmed off a bit. I want it the same kind of width, so let's just trim that off a wee bit. But because the book isn't a set size, and because I'm doing something slightly different, I can't actually use anything to exactly measure it. Now, what I do need to do is I need to cut off that corner because that's going downhill there. You see that? Cut off that corner. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to stick the pages that are showing from the book on the back. I'm not sure if that makes total sense. So these pages, which are showing from the book, I'm now going to stick on the back of the book there. And then I'm going to stick the cover round onto there, and then I'll do some more trimming as needed. Oh, and I've forgotten to do the one thing I wanted to do. I can do it once it's done. Can I? No. Let's take that glue off for a second. because I can, oh dear. Yeah, no, let's put that glue, no, let's do it now. Let's do it now. This book is a bit too red compared to that one, and I just wanted to put a wee bit of chalky gesso over it. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put a little bit of gesso just on my fingertip. Just a little bit, just to kind of... I've just been disturbed again, and during the disturbance I thought I'll just download the video of what I've made so far, and there's an issue with it. So before I go on any further, I'm going to run over what I've already done in case I can't recover that video at all. I've wrapped round this half of the tag. I tried to match it. It doesn't quite match. I thought it was this one photograph to cut in half, but I think it was taken at slightly different angles, or it's been manipulated in some way, but it doesn't actually quite match. I then stuck this on a bit of wood paper, which I'm going to use again in a bit, and then that, oh, the big thing you didn't see me do, which I will do again to show you, and that slips in there like so, and it doesn't quite meet, but I've got this chap now is backed also with the wood, and I've inked him all up and fussy cut him out, and Bartholomew is going to stand there in the gap to hide that shadow that isn't quite right, and then he will be stuck on that side, and when we pull that out he'll come out with it. I'm also going to put, this is the ledger that keeps falling open, and I've dulled this down with some walnut stain because it was a bit too bright, but I'm going to use that as the tab to pull this out. I'm just not quite ready to stick that down because I want to do some distressing on the back, and at the moment I'm making Evelyn's book to go inside, because inside this file, this is Evelyn as a child, inside this file there's going to be this book. Now I'm being my usual making life difficult for myself, and what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to, this is the stage I was at when things started to, well, this wasn't the stage I was at, this was the stage when I realised that things weren't good on the whole record front. This is the back of the book, and I'm going to stick the spine on that, and I'm going to stick the pages on there, so you still see the pages, but the pages end up being on the back of the book. So that's what I'm just going to do just now. I just wanted to make it this way. See, then you've got all your pages in there, you've got your back page, it's all become one little book. Now what I do need to do is I probably need to do some trimming and some dog-earing. That isn't right, but we haven't finished. There's other bits we've not got done yet. We've not got the back of this one done. So let's put the back of this one on, because we need to get its bit of wood on as well, and we need to distress the other bit of wood. So let's first of all, I've decided to call it a day because there's lots of things that aren't quite right with this, and if I keep on fiddling with it, it's just going to be even more of a mess. So I will correct the bits I can correct at another time, but for now Evelyn's book goes in Evelyn's file in the secret compartment in the secret room. that Bartholomew has discovered when he spent the night in the library in Scissor Lane. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience, because this was, yeah. I hope you still might come back and join me in my nonsense. You take care. Bye for now. Keep crafting.